Hi friends, Miss Molly Money here of Marvelous Money Matters. Thanks so much for tuning in. A couple of weeks ago, I posted a video about your relationship with money. Link above and below. And that's such an important relationship to understand and nurture. But in this video, I want to talk about money in relationships with other people, specifically your significant other or potential significant other. Money is at the top of the list of things that couples fight about. It's right up there with big topics like religion, parenting, and the in-laws if you have them. It brings up so many issues like who has more control in the relationship, the balance of power, who's spending whose money, and so on. In my own relationships, money has definitely been a point of contention at times, and I've learned a lot over the years. So I wanted to make this video to share a few thoughts that might resonate with you in your own relationships. Let's start with communication. I think the biggest mistake couples make when it comes to money is they just don't talk about it. It's kind of this taboo or uncomfortable topic that nobody wants to address. And there's probably lots of reasons for this. I think as a society, we are told that it's impolite or inappropriate to talk about money or to ask somebody how much they make. We don't want to make somebody feel inferior or uncomfortable if they make less than us, and so on. For me, personally, I think I avoided this conversation because I didn't want to come across as a gold digger. In my mind, that was just the absolute worst thing I could be in a relationship, and so I didn't want my guy to have any reason to think that I was after his money. So I just avoided the topic altogether. Perhaps you can relate. Today, it's definitely not the first thing I'll bring up in the relationship, but if I think it might be going somewhere, we absolutely have to have the money talk, and you should too. Here's some important things to talk about. First, ask, what is your financial situation? Again, this is one of those super awkward conversations or things to bring up. How much do you make? How much do you have? How much do you owe? But if this is somebody you really want to have a future with, you have to talk about these things. And even if you don't plan to combine your finances and have joint accounts and so on, this other person's money situation will inevitably impact yours, so you need to get a little bit uncomfortable and talk about it. Kind of like financial disclosure, the good, the bad, the ugly, getting it all out in the open. How much do each of you bring in? It's not uncommon for one person to make more or have more than the other, but if that's wildly out of balance, it really can change the power dynamics of the relationship. The person making more money might feel like they have more say or more leverage in the relationship. Or they might feel like it's my money rather than our money. And again, you might say, well, I don't plan to ever combine my finances with somebody, which is fine. I'm actually in that boat myself. But even so, if one of you makes significantly more, this can cause issues. Using my own story, I was in a relationship with someone where I made significantly more. And at first, I thought it was fine. After all, again, I didn't want to seem like a greedy gold digger who was only concerned about money. But over time, I became a little bit resentful. I knew if I wanted to go on a big international trip, let's say, or go out for a really swanky dinner, I'd have to pay for it because I knew he couldn't. This in turn kind of made me lose some respect for him. And on his side, he also got bitter because he didn't feel like he was pulling his weight and or that I was purposely showing him up. So this is a very real thing that can cause problems over time. You want to talk about it up front and know where you each stand. You also need to be open about your debt. Again, another uncomfortable topic. Most people have some kind of debt, whether it's student loans, a car payment, a mortgage, or credit cards. But what if this person has, say, $50,000 in credit card debt or owes back taxes to the IRS? It doesn't make them a bad person, but you probably don't want to get your finances tangled up with theirs. Next question, what do you do with your money? In other words, are you a spender, a saver, or an investor? Now, before you ask the other person that question, it's important that you can answer that about yourself as well. Do you save more than you spend? Are you a big shopper? Do you always have to have the latest in clothes or cars or gadgets? How often do you splurge on yourself? Do you want to spend money on things or experiences? What percentage of your income do you save or invest? Do you consider yourself frugal? There's a ton of questions here that you both really need to discuss. And there aren't any quote-unquote right answers per se, but ideally you want to be on the same page. Once again, speaking from experience, if you're really frugal and you're used to saving or investing the majority of your income, but your partner or potential partner spends every dime they make every month, that is eventually going to grate on you, especially if you have shared goals like buying a house or a car together, let's say. Related to that point, what are the money goals for each of you? Is it early retirement? Is it buying a house? Is there a certain dollar amount you want to have in the bank? Do you want to pay off all your debt? Is your goal to only have passive income and eventually quit your job? Is it to travel? Is it to help friends or family? Is it to have a family? Once again, you should ideally be on the same page. If one of you is really bothered by having student debt, let's say, and you want to pay that off ASAP, but the other one thinks it's more important to buy a house together, you might struggle every month with where to put your extra money. Finally, what is your financial interest or literacy? This one is loosely related to everything we've been talking about, but how interested is this other person in finances, and what is their literacy in that area? Are they somebody who just wants to sock their money away in a savings account every month and not worry about it? Or are they really into stocks and reading the market daily, and closely managing their investments trying to maximize returns? Again, neither is right or wrong, but if you're really a personal finance buff and you geek out over all the details, and they really couldn't care less about any of it, you really need to know that going in. So that's it for this video. Hopefully something here resonated with you and you can start having these conversations with your current or next partner. If you enjoy this kind of content, check out the other videos on my channel and be sure to click subscribe so you're notified when I upload new things. Thanks so much for watching.